Hon, how are ya? The Justice Department went live, and I said, we gotta monitor the monitors. We gotta monitor the hall monitors. I wouldn't call them law enforcement. I know you think a Justice Department filled with people that are law enforcement, but they sporadically and um, when it suits them enforce the law. Please don't knock on my drink, cat. Thank you, cat. Um, so we're going to listen in live. I paused it, so it's not exactly live. But this should be good. This should be if you're into as Anthony Bourdain once maybe didn't say, if you're into a deliciously warm and tender plate of irony served up fresh and well by the hypocrites in the kitchen, then you're gonna love this. You're gonna love this. A little spoiler alert: the Justice Department going live is because they arrested someone from the Benghazi case. You heard me right. You know, what was that? 14 years ago? They got him. They got him, guys. They got one of the Benghazi fire starters. And we're going to check it out. No word on Epstein's clientele that they work for. No word on Madame President, who, the rest of the world is, doing law enforcement. I don't know how else you call it. The rest of the world is looking into this. But we know MAGA and everybody that is I think I got to do this, loose air quotes, law enforcement have told you there's nothing to investigate here, folks. Nothing. The guy who made his name, who branded himself, you can grab him by the old locker room talk, Madam President herself. And I misgender that guy on purpose. Says there's nothing to see here. Could we all just move on? But don't worry. The Justice Department has something for you. Something. We're going to watch them live in a minute. But first, welcome to church. I'm Rob. Welcome to church. Ooh, we should get Hoser to do it. Welcome to church. I'm Rob. We're going to watch this fucking guy. His name is Cash App. Oh my God, that's his full name. Call him by his full name. You don't know him personally. You don't get to call him Cash. That's like the friends he didn't have in high school. They get to make fun of him as Cash. His full name is Cash App, and he runs the FBI. And he said, nothing to see here, folks, when it comes to Epstein files. Nothing to see here. But Benghazi, we've been working on that since day one. We're going to get to it. I'm Rob. Welcome. If you're new here, welcome to church. All are welcome. Everybody is welcome, especially you sinners, which we all are. But not the MAGA kind of sinners. I mean, the people who've been called sinners by those protesters who hold up signs that are like, everything's a sin, and you're like, didn't you vote for Donald Trump to grab him by the guy? I don't want to hear anything from you. Shut your mouth. If you know anything about Jesus, he says, you just love everybody, and I'll figure out the heaven shit, okay? You bunch of jags. Anyways, so I am your officially ordained reverend here on YouTube. I'm also a vibe coach. I wear many hats. I comment on the news. Ton of stuff. And if you're into radical, woke, leftist reverends, then why don't you hit subscribe? Hit the notification bell. I'll bless the hell out of you. You don't hear that at Joel Osteen's church. Well, I'm blessing the hell out of people. He's taking their last pennies so he can buy another Ferrari that flies or something. I don't know what he's doing with all that money. We do like to open with a musical number, just like every good church. We're going to have a prayer and a musical number, and then we'll get to this cross-eyed fuck telling you nothing to see here, but Benghazi is the real issue. Yeah, okay. The Epstein files, which we're going to get into. I was doing some digging this morning because I said, you know who's not being looked up in the Epstein files? Not enough Melania. not enough YouTubers are making videos on the Melania pages of the Epstein files. And obviously they've been heavily fucking deleted, because if you searched last week when they released them, I think Donald Trump was mentioned, multiple tens of 15s of 20s of thousands of times. And now if you search, there's like 4,000. Oh, they just disappeared. Nothing to see here, guys. We're busy on Benghazi. We're totally not spending your tax monies deleting all those files we accidentally released. Anyways, but I thought to myself this morning, not enough people are looking into Melania. So I did that. And I highlighted it, and I had to also X out a couple of words, but it turns out Melania's in a battered relationship. I wonder who she's talking about. We'll look at dates and we'll figure out. We'll piece this together. We're going to be like little sleuths. We're going to be like, what is that? The Babysitters Club and the Hardy Boys. All right. You young kids don't even understand. That was our entertainment back in the day. I read none of that bullshit, but I knew a lot of people who were into that stuff. Okay. Does that even exist anymore? I read the Garfield comics. All right, so let's open up church. We are officially in church. If you interrupt, they will arrest you like Don Lemon. Because that's like a thing now in America. You can't go into a church filming as a journalist, or you go to jail and you don't get a phone call. I'll play that audio for you too. Hold on, let's say what's up to people. I hate Cash App, but what's up, Alma? Good to see you. Hamster Time's here. Hamster Time, 7 Gator. Hello, April. Just so gross how none of you care about the victims. Just busy hating Trump. Why do you think we're hating Trump? Because he's doing nothing to help the victims. Thanks for your non-smarts. Appreciate that. I bless you with some smarts. Bam! April needs some common sense. Some common sense. We've talked about the victims here multiple times. Dolt. Do you get called dolt enough in your life? Do people say she's a daft idiot? Do people say that enough to you? Because I fear they don't. I fear they don't. By the good Lord's power, I fear they don't. And you need to be called that, because then you'll smarten up. Nothing says, let me figure out my shit, like someone calling you a daft dolt. So I bless you in the name of fucking get some common sense. Welcome, I'm Rob. Hit subscribe. Dude in the background looks like he's hiding a zombie bite. A flaming banana. That is the most accurate description I've heard of Cash App Patel in a while. He's definitely the guy who's like, I'm not going to tell anybody. I'm going to see how this pans out. I have natural body immunities. Why do no zombies? Thank you so much, A Flaming Banana. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm here every single weekday, sometimes on the weekends. I'm Rob, your official ordained reverend and vibe coach here on YouTube, because some of you got vibes all fucked up. So we're going to fix that. Why don't zombie shows incorporate rip from the headline stuff? Why aren't zombie show having a knuckle dragger like Joe Rogan on an episode? And people look, me don't know about zombie bite because me have natural immunity. Me go hot sauna, ice bath, rid of zombie bite. They should be satirically spearing these people. How about Bill Clinton? Yo, he's coming to testify. He was like, you see me in the jacuzzi, and now you see me in front of the Congress to testify. I hope Bill Clinton wears the blue dress. If you think I have fucking Bill Clinton Bitcoins or a Bill Clinton hat that says Bill Clinton was right about everything, you are a daft dolt. Okay? Free Richard Brandon Coleman. The Ellis County injustice is real. I don't know who that is, but free them all. Rob looks stoned AF. Interesting. He's giving a statement behind closed doors. At least he's given a statement. Yesterday, if you were here, Donald Trump said it's time for the country to move on from Epstein. unless they want to, have Bill Clinton testify. Then we don't move on. But Am I unmuted? I'm not on mute. That's the thing. My phone mutes me. My phone mutes me. Now you are what? Yes. So I have to like close the app, open the app, close the app, open the app, close the app, open the app. Ah, America. Capitalism. It's the best. It's the best. It is so good. You can't even figure out these fucking apps. Can't we have South Korean internet? Flashcards. I'm not doing flashcards today. Even your phone wants to mute your BS. Oh, that's funny. Okay, so so folks, get ready. We have MAGA in the house, and they get easily triggered. They do not like when you talk about their queen, Donald Trump. Okay, you cannot say his Melania and Trump coin were a rug pull, which robbed millions of his cult base. They get so triggered. They hate it. So MAGA, if you're watching, just get ready. You're gonna need a safe space. You're gonna need your binky, your safety blanket with Donald Trump's head on Rambo's body or whatever. Remember when you guys were doing that? Remember when you guys were fucking putting Donald Trump's head on another man's body? Hold on, I want this cat out of here. I hear you. You don't get to hang out with me. No. You have to leave if you're just gonna talk to me. Okay? Okay? Remember that? Remember when MAGA was like, we hate gender affirming care, but I'll totally have a t-shirt of Rambo Sly Stallone's body with Donald Trump's head. That's not gender affirming. That's what it used to look like. He's never looked like that. So anyways, we're going to get into this idiot telling us about the laws he wants to enforce. Only the ones they want to enforce. And there's more people standing by him. Look at these plastic fucking saran-faced twats. Oh, by the way, we have a new word for them. Hold on. Hold on, everybody. Let me introduce the new word, birthed by the internet. Thank you, internet. Wait, where is it? Here it is. Twatsies. This is your clan of twatsies. And I'll include Cash App Patel in that, you know. This is a gender fluid term. Twatsies. Anybody can use this. This applies to most of the regime. It's twatsies. Hold on. Hold on one second. Today's word of the day. Where is my thing that does the things? Hold on. I couldn't find it yesterday. I keep losing everything. Cash App Patel.
On what basis?
Where is it? Oh, this makes me so mad that I can't find it.
Do you think we're babies?
Yeah, he does think you're babies, Joe Rogan. What the fuck, man? I've really just got to bring it up. I had the goddamn thing on the thing, and now I don't have the thing no more. I just got to bring it up over here. There it is. There it is. Twatsies. That's for all my elder millennials. All right. Everybody learn their word? Okay. Write it down. Hey, what's up, Reagan? Oh, we got a lot of Trump movies. The Daily Show is strong in this one. Thank you. Thank you. I love The Daily Show. I still can't get over the fact that people who, let's just bring this up. I don't want to explain it. I just would rather say this. You know, MAGA were readily willing to accept that Haitians were eating cats and dogs, litter boxes were in bathrooms, schools were performing gender-affirming surgeries, but they'll do anything to avoid recognize them that their grab them by the leader was Legally accused of a lot. You guys are pathetic. You have no backbone, and we're not going to pay attention to you. So chat all you want. Boost me in the algorithm. Thank you. But we're just going to ignore you. Let them keep chatting, Ray Gun, unless they say something. Unless they say some shit like Donald Trump tweeted today or whatever you call it, truthed. I don't know if you guys saw this. This is what Donald Trump but the fucking president did this. For everybody who's like, Donald Trump's not racist. Number one, you don't know about his federal fucking case in the 70s where he was federally found racist of discrimination in the Fair Housing Act. For those of you who don't remember the 90s with the Central Park Five, see, there are some people who've lived through some of this stuff and know about some of this stuff. And there are people from New York, where he's from. So we knew he was a racist. And then if you even read the Epstein files last weekend, which I pointed out to you, where in it, people are like, no black girls around Trump. He calls them this. So it's like, we've known, but now he's telling you to your face, you fucking dipshits. And you're still going to go, I just don't think so, because you're an obedient cult member. So that's why we don't take you serious. But Raygun, if you see him, Alma, you see him doing any of this shit, boot him. If not, just ignore him. Just ignore them. Just ignore them. Just ignore them. Picking sides is ignorance. There's only one side. You're either on the side of being anti-racist and anti-trafficking, or you're on the wrong team. And whoever said this coming from a guy with Jesus in his name, you don't even know Jesus, homie. Jesus said to love everyone. Is this loving everybody? Is this loving everybody? You fucking get your Jesus from Joel Osteen, who hangs out with Kanye West, by the way. Pretty sure Kanye's going to hell. Kanye, you can do the Oh Forgive Me tour all you want, but, cat's out of the bag, Kanye. These fucking people, man.
I moved on her like a bitch. I couldn't get there.
That's your Jesus, dude?
I gotta use some Tic Tacs just in case I start kissing her.
Just in case he starts kissing her. Well, I hate to break it to you, Donald. People that are in the Epstein files aren't in the Epstein files because, they had Riz, as the kids say. I want to point, before we get into anything, I just want to point this out because this explains the entirety of the Epstein files. Then we're going to listen to the DOJ once we start. Well, we've started church, but we have a musical number. Churches always have a musical number in the beginning. This church is just fucking cool. So, and I said, fuck. Oh my God, he said it. Well, let's read from the Epstein files and then judge me on the content of my fucking character and not my words, you twatsies. So this in the Epstein files, when you're searching for Melania, that's the funny thing. This comes up when you're searching for Melania because he says he's trying to buy elite models with Jeff Epstein. He introduced Melania to Trump. Did Jeffrey Epstein introduce Melania to Trump? Is that what these notes are saying? So then I'm reading further, and I highlighted this, okay? This is not highlighted if you go search Melania in justice.gov, and then you go through the 11 pages that are there now. I'm sure there were more before. It says, I had never seen a thing before. It was small, and that's why I figured he wanted young girls because he was embarrassed. This sums up the Epstein files. Everyone that's in it, this sums it up. I know you thought it was about money and power, but really, like George Carlin said, it's about small, what does she call it? Thing syndrome. And that's it. And that's it. I bet you 9th grade was the best 3 years of your life. I'll tell you what, that's much farther than your boy Tim Pool got. Okay, so now we understand the Epstein files, okay? And for all those Trump supporters, just remember, he's not self-made. He became president of his father, Fred Trump's real estate business in 1971 and renamed it the Trump Organization. He's done nothing. He's the Nepo baby coastal elite, Democrat, friends with the Clintons, his words, not mine, that you guys hated and he grifted you. And I just had to show that this is also in the Epstein files. I got this from the Epstein files. This is a Wikipedia post from I think 2022. Funny as shit that this is in the Epstein files. It's all underlined, and they're like, he's done nothing. And in more than 4,000 state and federal cases and actions, he's included 6 bankruptcies. He's an isolationist and nationalist. Oh, that's a good take. You people got duped by the dupiest goober ever. We're going to get to these freaks in a minute. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. First, please hit subscribe. Please hit the notification bell. My name is Reverend Rob. I'm also your vibe coach. I check these magas pretty hard, right into the boards. Is that a hockey reference? I don't know. I didn't play hockey. But I'll tell you what. This is no safe space for MAGA. Everybody else, marginalized, oppressed, tyrannically oppressed peoples. Anybody who wants to feel free to express themselves, free to live the way they ought to live, because they understand life is just but a short time, and nobody should be defined by their work. Your work is not your worth. To all those people, you're welcome here. MAGA, you're going to be triggered as fuck. And just know that every artist that I play, like Kurt Cobain, would have despised you. Rage Against the Machine, I don't know what you listen to, but just understand while you're listening to them, if you could ever meet them, they'd be like, ugh, you disgust me. You obedient fucking servant. Serve the servants. It was a Jesus Christ motto embodied in a Kurt Cobain song. So this is Bunk Bed Coffin. Bunk bed like you sleep in when you're alive. Coffin like you sleep in when you're dead. Bunk Bed Coffin, link in the description. Keep up the good fight, Rob. Thank you, Serial Killer, for the $4.99 super chat. I am only supported by viewers like you. Just like every time I get off alive and my thing says limited monetization. And I go, what am I saying that's worse than Fox News? Fox News is on YouTube, and they say the most heinous ever. Donald Trump gets to Madam President Trump, and I call him Madam because that's what prostitutes call their prostitute friends. I don't know. And he's clearly got a Slovenian prostitute somewhere in his orbit. We'll get into Melania and the Epstein files in a little bit. So much to do. But my Christ, folks, I am only supported by viewers like you. So Serial Killer, thank you so much. I appreciate that. You can cuss in my church. You can cuss in my church. When Jesus says, or was it David? He says, you got to beware of what comes out of your mouth. I would say, cussing is the least of your worries in a world where they say grab them by the, and you can just do that because you're famous. I would say the content of that person's character is much worse than the content of the character saying, fuck that guy. You know what I mean? I know it's complex and you can't break it down. You're like, but that's a bad word. And those are a string of words that I just defend. Like, I know. I don't have the crayons to color it out for you, but just, content to your fucking heart. Anyways, let's get to Bunk Bed Coffin. Hello, Bunky. Love you. Go subscribe to Bunky. This is going to cheer you up. This is going to start your day right. Got to warm up my hands. It's freezing. Knowing Mike Johnson won't get you into heaven. It will get you a good spot on Grindr. This is Bunk Bed Coffin covering lithium. Go subscribe, please. And let me say thank you, Punky, for letting me use your music. Let's get into some street art. I know I have some. Hold on. Word of the day. Only the best people, right? Exile him to Epstein Island with his daughters. I love you, I'm not gonna crack. This goes out to the one person I love like this. She knows who she is. Don't try to fucking fake it in the comments. I love Bunky. All right, that's Bunkbed Coffin. We got to open up church with the prayer. We're going to have a reading. Hold on. Let me get something. Hold on. Just give me a second. Stop pressuring me. Cut it out. Prayer from the book of DMX. This is not the book of DMX. If you see the red, that means Jesus said it. So when people try to cite shit at you, like that Paul said, tell them to fucking walk off a short pier. And now, a book from the book of X, a prayer.
Dear Lord, we thank you for this gathering of souls. You say that when two or more gather in your name, that you will be present, so we thank you for your presence. Bless your grace and blessings to our partner show this evening. We pray that any obstacle that will plans to place in our path be removed in the name of Jesus. We pray that there are no fightings, no stabbings, no shootings, no arrests, no drug drivings, no altercation incidents whatsoever. We pray that the best part of the show be the prayer. And if we're able to touch one person for your name's sake, for your glory, then we've done a wonderful thing. Lord, we thank you for the blessing that most people take for granted. The food that we have to eat, the cars that we have to drive, the air we have to breathe, the clothes that we have to wear, the lives we trust, and the lives that trust our own. As you guide our steps, you have your will, you have your way in our lives, Father, but we don't know what we're doing. As you keep us safe, and every person that came here makes it home safely. We thank you, Lord, for your mercy, your grace, and your blessings. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. God. How could you not get fired up with DMX? It's amazing that Joel Osteen, I just bring him up because he blocked me on Twitter. What a twatsy. He's a fraud, if you don't know. He doesn't represent Jesus. Jesus wasn't asking everybody for money. If you've ever read Jesus' story, it's a good one. He's in the red. He wasn't walking around being like, hey man, I need a little tithe. You know, I'm short on cash. I ain't got no pockets in this dress I'm wearing, man. I got no money in my flip-flops. Homie, can you spare a tithing? Jesus wasn't doing that. When he needed money, he said, go open that fish's mouth. The first fish that you see swim up to the thing, open the fish's mouth, pull out the coin, and pay the taxes. The what? Jesus paid taxes. Oh, that's going to destroy things for the church. Anyways, so I bring up Joel Osteen a lot because, how do the French say it? He's a la fraud. And it's amazing that in times when DMX was alive, instead of having a prayer like that, so powerful, he had Kanye West on. That speaks volumes. All right, let's get into this. This is the Justice Department. Let me show you who our Justice Department is run by. These fucking frauds. Why do they all look like they got saran wrap on their face? My Christ. If that isn't the most Kenny Rogers looking woman I've ever seen, I don't know what is. And you can tell she's rotting from the inside out. I have some great audio by Pam Blondie. We're going to let Pam Blondie do a little talking. And Cash App, that's his full name. So please call him by his full name. Cash App Patel. That's not a joke. You think his dad wanted him to invent some kind of fucking app? My Christ. But we're going to listen to these people for a little bit. You know, chirp about law and order, law and obey our orders, only specific laws and obey our orders. And then I'll play some Pam Blondie for you. where she's secretly recorded saying, oh yeah, we have thousands of videos and it's all children. Speaking about the Epstein files, but nothing to investigate there. So don't worry. Let's get into Pam Blondie announcing that they finally caught one guy from Benghazi. If you're too young to know what Benghazi was, just look up Benghazi because you have the internet. I can't do all the fucking learning for you. My God. Do you not understand how the internet works? It's not about TikTok dances. Like, you can learn shit there. But it was like 14 years ago. So, yeah, let's listen to these frauds.
Two CIA contractors, Glenn Doherty and Tyrone Woods. We have never forgotten those heroes.
He looks like he
forgot. And we
forgot.
have never stopped seeking justice for that crime against our nation. In fact, from day one, Cash and Dan would sit in meetings and say, we're going to get them. And they did. Today, I'm proud to announce that the FBI has arrested one of the key participants behind the Benghazi attack. Zubair al-Bakhash landed at Andrews Air Force Base at 3 a.m. this morning. He is in our custody.
Okay, real quick. Sorry, I gotta pause it. But does anybody want to go look up Zubair al-Bakhash and see if he's in the Epstein files? Because again, they're just arresting people that are not in the Epstein files.
He was greeted by Director Patel and U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro. Hillary Clinton famously once said about Benghazi, what difference at this point does it make? Well, it makes a difference to Donald Trump. It makes a difference to those families. And 14 years later, it makes a difference to law enforcement who made the difference in this case. Thank you, President Trump, for supporting all.
I love how they gotta always North Korea, whatever. They're like, and we just got a special shout out to our good boy sitting at home watching this while probably pooping his pants. Special shout out to you, Donald. You're the best. Like, they gotta do this shit. It's so pathetic.
Of our agencies around the country and around the world. Al-Bakhash will now face American justice on American soil.
Does that mean he just gets to go free? Maybe if he's in the Epstein files, you guys will leave him alone. Is that how that works? What is American justice on American soil? Because there's a ton of criminals in your fucking regime.
We will prosecute this alleged terrorist to the fullest.
He releases dopamine.
Oh, I hate these ads.
Extent of the law. He'll face charges related to murder, terrorism, arson, among others. Let this case.
They threw in arson. Like, you know, the list isn't that long. And they were like, murking, tyranny, and arson. We got him for arson, too. Because remember, there were fires in that movie you saw about Benghazi that fucking, you know, Hollywood had to do. Yeah, they got him for arson. And then probably criminal mischief. That's a real charge.
Serve as a reminder. If you commit a crime against the American people anywhere in this world, President Trump's Justice Department will find you.
Okay, did everybody hear that? This twatsie just said, if you commit a crime anywhere in the world, President Donald J. Madam Trump's Justice Department will find you. I want you to remember that because I'm going to pause this live. And what I'm going to do is play a different video of Pam Blondie, that twatsie. Here it is. Here is Pam right in the corner. And she, while she's, you know, the AG, is talking about the Epstein files. I'm going to play this in its entirety, okay? Listen closely. And remember, Pam just said, her own words said, if there's anybody in the whole entire world, except for the Epstein files, that commits a crime, where Donald Trump's Justice Department is coming for you. So now I'm going to play this other clip of Pam Blondie.
The Epstein files are going to get released?
We hope soon. Very nice.
Okay.
So,
any dates?
no, you know what it is? It's tons and thousands of videos.
Yeah.
And it's all with little kids. So they have to go through every one.
So she said, no, they go, when is it going to be released? And she goes, well, you know what it is, though? There's tens and thousands of videos, and it's all with little kids. So we got to go through every one. I want to remind you, Pam Blondie also said the Epstein files don't exist. Todd Blanche, Trump's criminal attorney, who's also working with her, said there's nothing to investigate. We will have no further investigations, while in the same sentence or the same briefing, said we have videos of death and torture and all the. So it's like you have videos of abuse and there's nothing to okay, all right. I don't know why I played that because this is all making perfect sense, I guess. You know, what did they say? Hold on, let me rewind Pam Blondie for a split second, just so we could get her official and Donald Trump's official statement on crime. The law and obey orders regime.
Arson, among others.
Arson, yep.
Let this case serve as a reminder. If you commit a crime against the American people anywhere in this world, President Trump's Justice Department will find you. It might not happen overnight, but it will happen. You can run, but you cannot hide.
What if they're not running, Pam, and the phone call is coming from in the White House? Or technically the email. We don't have the phone calls yet. Pam, is she taking questions? How do I get to the White House to be a journalist? Tim Pool looks like this and he shows up. Why can't I go? Because I go, excuse me, Pam. Excuse me, Pam. What about emails that you have that are coming from inside the White House? Will you seek to no ends to find those people or no? No? Okay, let's continue on. This is fraudulent. This is a fraudulent government. You understand they're telling you one thing and doing the complete opposite. That's what she's saying. Saying we have videos of these people with little kids and we're not going to do anything. We'll actually tell you there's nothing to investigate here. But when it comes to Benghazi, you know, that finger on the pulse issue that America today has just been sweltering over. Will they ever get that Benghazi guy? Jesus. All over TikTok, I'm assuming, since the Ellisons purchased it and probably navigated the algorithms to make you think Benghazi was the hottest topic. I don't know. Before I came on live, I was Google searching trends, and Benghazi was not even close to on any list. I don't know what this could be. Certainly not a distraction.
We are immensely grateful to our partners, especially at the State Department and the CIA, who lost lives in the Benghazi attack. Director Patel and the FBI agents did tireless work to track and arrest this man.
They probably did tireless work because you can't fucking go to sleep with eyes like that. By the way, here's another guy that we know who he is. Meet Martin Nowak. He's a professor at Harvard. That looks like, pertaining to the context that we can understand here. Jeffrey Epstein, writing Martin, a Harvard professor here in America, so you don't have to search the globe or go to Libya or anything, writing in 2014 after Jeff's first arrest, this. Pam, are you sure it's any crime you guys will prosecute? Are you sure it's any crime, or is it just arson and interrupting churches? By the way, I'm Rob. Welcome to church and subscribe, hit the notification bell. Happy Black History Month, 100%. The only general I salute is Harriet Tubman. FBI. If you're watching this later and you cannot see the live stream comments, he spelt it F-B-E-Y-E. God damn, I love a good pun. God damn. Patel stopped looking at me to himself at night. Martin is creepy looking. Well, it looks like a guy that you'd probably write this email to. You know what I mean? And I don't know. Any people in his class you might want to say something, ask him about it every day until he quits. I don't know. Call me crazy. I'm old school. I listen to Carlin, and I was taught not just obey orders. Christ, America's fucked. Here we go. Here's the FBI, F-B-E-Y-E, Cash App Patel. Let's keep listening to Pam Blondie.
I want to thank everyone standing behind me, all the agents who work so great with our lawyers, with our national security lawyers, and around the world to bring this terrorist.
By the way, just so everybody remembers who Pam Blondie is, she was AG in Florida at the time that Epstein's heinous stuff was going on. So, I mean, she's deeply entrenched in the swamp state. Is that what we got to call it now? It can't even be this deep state. It's got to be the mucks of the swamp, the Florida swamp state. That's what this is.
To justice. And I have a statement to read from Director Radcliffe. He wanted to be here. He couldn't be here. He's busy protecting our world.
This is so like right up Joe Rogan's alley, you know? Like this is very North Korea. He would love to be here, but he's protecting the world. This is like you can't write comedy this good, you know? Like if the guys from South Park were trying to do this, they couldn't even come up with a comedy line that funny. No, he can't even be here. He's out protecting the world. No one would be safe. He's like Superman.
He's deeply grateful for the relentless efforts of the Department of Justice and the FBI to bring justice to the individual allegedly responsible for the death of Americans in the horrific 2012 Benghazi attack. CIA and the nation will never forget the extraordinary services and sacrifices.
Everybody remembers, right? Never forget is about Benghazi.
Of Tyrone Woods and Glenn Doherty, who gave their lives in defense of others. And
how did their families feel that this fraudulent government that is made up of plastic-faced twatsies like Fox News Judge Janine, whatever her name is, how do those families feel that they're being used as like a blockade, you know, to any kind of legitimacy? I would be fucking disgraced. I would be so angry.
Exemplified the very best of our agency. I'd now like to turn it over to Director Patel for remarks, and I again want to thank him for his relentless work in this case.
General, thank you. And I want to steal one of your lines. Never forget. Pam never forgot.
These people are so pathetic. I want to steal one of your lines. Wait, hold on. So what Cash Patel is saying, let me just get this straight. So after 9/11, Pam Blondie was like, guys, I have a brilliant idea. I don't know. What was she, fucking 13, hanging out on Epstein Zorro Ranch at that point? I don't know how old she was then. Who knows? You know, some of these dusk fucking creatures probably have no age. They're like immortal because if you've read the Jeff Epstein files, where Donald Trump's all over them, you know that that's what they were working on. We'll get to that in a little bit. Anyways, I don't know how old she is because, again, these are all plastic-faced buffoons, you know? Like, her face says, I'm a brand new Tupperware too, but, you know, when she talks, it's like she came out of the Middle Ages. So we just could really not, we couldn't even carbon date these people. These people are so fucking filled with plastic. You have to Tupperware date them. But did Cash App Patel just say, I'm going to steal a line from Pam Blondie, never forget? I'm old enough. I was in college when 9/11 happened, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't Pam Blondie who came up with that, but I could be wrong. I'll have to go to the Wayback Machine, but this is, you know, kind of hilarious that this regime is that weak.
President never forgot. This FBI never forgot. And certainly U.S. Attorney Pirro never forgot. When an act of...
While she was serving her time on Fox News, I salute you, Captain Judge Pirro.
Terrorism of this magnitude strikes...
By the way, Janine Pirro did like a show about like touring mansions, touring wealthy homes. And this is who is in our government. How are people not getting pitchforks and torches? I fuck it, this is beyond me.
At the heart of our nation, we go to work. President Trump has given us the full resources at the FBI and across the interagency to make sure we deliver justice. And Pam, you're right.
Did he just say they've gotten full resources to deliver justice? Need I remind you? Anyways, full resources to deliver justice. What part of pardoning this dude is delivering justice? I know this 11-year-old boy probably didn't feel like that was justice when he found out Donald Trump pardoned him. Okay, continue, Cash.
Dan and I did sit down early on about this to bring justice, but you led the effort. You brought together the interagency. You said we are going to get this done because no one agency alone can do it. So we are thankful to have an Attorney General at the Department of Justice who works together with every single cabinet secretary and enforce the law. What you saw today, and I want to get...
It's every time they say enforce the law, every fucking time they say enforce the law, I don't know if I could deal with it. I don't know if I can every time they say enforce the law. Every time they say enforce the law.
Or what you're going to see today. I'm going to address it in a minute, but I want to remind the folks out there the work of this Department of Justice. We were here just a few short months ago talking about how we were going to raise the RFJ for another violent offender on the run, Ryan Wedding. And what do we do under Attorney General's leadership? And what do we do when President Trump said, go get the worst of the worst?
You didn't do it. We have, like, guys, we have the files. These are the worst of the worst. Can we all agree on that, everybody? I know MAGA's going to say no now. But maggots, we remember you last year when you were listening to Kash Patel's podcast and Dan Vagina's podcast. We remember. And they were the worst of the worst, and they've been the worst of the worst. But now we have, like, you know, the proof. Now we have the proof. So Kash Patel is saying you're going after the worst of the worst, but you're also pardoning kind of the worst of the worst. And what is the worst of the worst? Is it like these Democrat triggering, MAGA cheering on kind of things that throughout history you're like, let's harp on that one and try to win some points because, you know, we're obviously doing the death rattle of a capitalist regime?
We captured him. We captured together, under President Trump's leadership, 6 of the FBI's most wanted fugitives in 1 calendar year.
Have you caught anyone in the Epstein files besides Epstein himself? I don't think they're taking questions.
To put that in perspective, that is 2 more than the entirety of the prior administration.
Oh, dunk on Biden. Oh, MAGA. Applause.
You cannot do that alone at the FBI. You have to have an attorney general and a Department of Justice willing to prosecute, willing to go to the 4 corners of the earth and make sure we deliver justice.
You know what's good right now is that in the 4 corners of the earth, a lot of foreign governments are opening investigations into this. This is a good thing because the president's name is mentioned so many fucking times, more than Harry Potter I heard yesterday, more than Jesus in the Bible. I mean, you don't get that many mentions without there being some smoke. And when there's smoke, what do people say? Nothing to see here, let's move on. Is that what people say? When there's smoke, let's just move on. I don't think that's the saying, but that's what Donald Trump was saying yesterday.
And that's what we're doing here today. I was at the airfield with U.S. Attorney Pirro earlier this morning.
What were you doing? Filming a Fox News segment? This bitch don't know anything. Come on, man.
When we did the formal foreign transfer of custody of Bakush into U.S. custody to face prosecution under her auspices and her office. And the Department of Justice are going to execute justice for the fallen. As a young prosecutor at CTS, the National Security Division, I worked on the Benghazi case. This was very near, dear, and personal to me. We lost 4 brave Americans in Chris, Sean, Kyle, and Steve. And we can never, ever, ever.
You know what I just realized? I think, hold on, let me show you something. I don't know if you can tell from this photo. No, because he's at the podium. I think he's shorter than Pam Bondi. I didn't even realize that. We know she's very short, but I didn't even realize he's shorter than her. Well, this is adorable. It's like having a little Keebler elf in the FBI. You never know where he's going to pop out of. Woo-hoo! I got some cookies. Who are you looking at, dude? What's wrong with your eye? Somebody slap him so his eye goes back to normal.
Forget them. Ever. And we will not. In order to put something like this together, it doesn't happen overnight. The FBI's hostage rescue team, the FBI's critical incident response group, our special flight operations unit,
boring,
that the world knows that if you kill an American citizen in an act of terrorism, we will hunt you down.
No, you won't. No, you won't. No, you won't. Boring. Get to Janine. Boo!
It's a little full circle for me. Yes, then Director Deputy Bongino and I did sit down and said, how are we going to get this guy?
Where's Bongino now? Why is he not part? Oh, that's right. He went back to podcasting because you sucked his soul out of his body and left him to be a flim-flam of a human.
How are we going to find the individual responsible for the Benghazi attacks? And
they were like, we really got to work on this Benghazi thing, guys. They're like, the pressure is mounting. You hear the public outrage? They're really into this Benghazi thing. Everybody is. Holy shit. What the fuck is going on?
And we sat down with Janine Pirro, and we sat down with the AG and her team and the Deputy Attorney General. And every single day, every single week, we talked about how we would do it.
So now you hear them admitting, like, listen, guys, we know the pressure has been really on for Epstein files. And we know that, there are just criminal after criminal, locally. But guys, we have not rested. Not one asleep-filled night to bring you the criminal crimer, the arsonist behind Benghazi. We've met weekly, daily, minutely, momently. We just, all the resources. That's what they're saying. This is fucking hilarious. When the resources was spent on redacting the Epstein files.
And we're here today because we have an interagency that is led by superior individuals.
Oh, Jesus. Stop patting yourself on the back for a 14-year-old crime, you fucking nerd.
Thank you, Attorney General.
Thank you.
Thank you, Director.
You don't clap
It
when he
is
gets
now
done.
my
Sorry,
honor
sorry.
to introduce the woman who will be prosecuting this alleged terrorist.
Which you could probably catch on Fox News this summer.
U.S. Attorney Janine Pirro.
Thank you, Attorney General.
Oh, she's tiny. I think we should have a height requirement to be in the government at this point. You must be this tall to prosecute people. Look at this fucking fraud. Oh my God. I thought that I froze her. I know you can't see her. She's over here. I thought it was Kenny Rogers.
14 years ago, Americans watched in horror as a scene unfolded in a...
Are they all going to tell us what This is what this propaganda is like. All right, guys, we got a young audience and a stupid audience. We got to re-spell out what Benghazi. We got to make this important for them. Oh, I'm just going to skip around because this is...
Hurricane. Today, President Trump is making sure that American justice is coming for those individuals responsible for the deaths of those 4 Americans. Bakush is now on U.S. soil because of the president, Attorney General Pam Bondi.
We know. They've all said, that if you're going... Okay, I got to put on my vibe coach hat for a second. If you're going to go third in a speaking thing, if you're going third, you don't reiterate what the first 2 people said. You're losing the audience, man. Did Steve Bannon not train these people on how to do propaganda? I'm getting worried. You don't retell the story to people before you told. You just don't. God, make this entertaining. I thought you were on TV. Jesus.
Kash Patel, the FBI, the Department of Justice. Bakush was first charged by complaint in 2015, which was sealed for 11 years. An 8-count indictment, has been unsealed, and it charges Bakush with the murder of Ambassador in this world. Thank you.
Wait. How did she...
Stop us from going after these predators, no matter...
Oh! What did she say? Oh my God. I can't believe they can say this with a straight face. This is the most bananas thing ever. I can't get over this. These people are really saying this with a straight face.
For Americans. It has stayed with all of us. And let me be very clear.
I'm going to be honest. I know people lost their lives in Benghazi. It hasn't stayed with me. Nope. I'm not going to pretend like I gave a shit. I'm not going to rah-rah behind this. Horrible. Okay, part of colonialism and the, expanding empire is going to be this stuff. But this didn't stay. This wasn't the... When you say never forget, like they keep repeating, I didn't go, Benghazi. I just didn't. I'm sorry. I just didn't. I never forget was 9/11. I don't know why they're trying to co-opt never forget to mean Benghazi.
There are more of them out there. Time will not stop us from going after these predators, no matter how long it takes.
Do you hear what your government is telling you? Time will not stop us, no matter how long it takes to go after these predators. They released 3.5 million files of the Epstein files and then deleted a bunch of them. A bunch of them with the president's name in it, of course, and probably Melania's name and, some other rich people. And then they redacted a bunch of names to protect the wealthy and powerful. But it's just amazing she used the word predator. You know, that I really want to hook onto that one, because how do you say that and then turn around and say move on from the Epstein files when there are survivors continually saying this is unacceptable? This is really something else. I wonder, I just wonder what people how are you feeling about that? How are you feeling?
For minors, do we love minors? I love minors.
Inappropriate. Not right now, President. We're not talking about your times on the island.
In order to fulfill our obligation to those families who suffered horrific pain.
Survivor families of what? Would it be of survivors of what? I just don't like when people pick and choose, And I know MAGA doesn't. Let me explain why. Because when I show things like this from the Epstein files that the government released about their own president, their own Madam President, they usually come in here and they say, what about Bill Clinton? So they don't like picky and choosy, and I don't either. So I go, what about Bill Clinton? He's going to testify. We'll cover that when he does. Send him to jail too? I don't know what you want. He's not the president right now. The president, Madam President, is listed more than anyone. Let me just remind you that he's listed more than anyone in the files. So that's really, like a key thing. It's like the top honcho in this trafficking thing is also the top honcho in this world we live in. So I would say this is just on the level of importance, just a little more important than a 1990s president who went and played saxophone on Arsenio Hall. I have some Arsenio Hall audio for you too in a minute. Stay tuned. By the way, I'm ordained Reverend and Vibe Coach here on YouTube. I gave my Vibe Coach title to myself, but God ordained me. So I bless the hell out of you. Welcome to church. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. We're listening to the DOJ, the Justice Department, talk about how they'll go after any predator, use every resource, and you can't hide in any of the ends of the world. Are you buying this? Or you see that this is propaganda? Let's read. Trump was a witness, not an actor. You haven't read the files, my friend. But may God imbue you with some common sense. Allegations aren't real. Okay. Again, guys, just read the files. Like, there are FBI, what is it? FBI 301 paperwork, where it's after they talk to the witnesses, they re-examine what they went over. So this is very real. What you're saying is, this isn't real. These aren't real. This is real. Right? Is that what you're saying? It's just not real. Felonies are. Well, he's got 34 of them, so we know they're real. There's no justice in the department. They didn't say it was false. They didn't, Britain. You should keep reading the files where they blacked it out and said, the person was alleged to not be deemed credible. That person in those sightings that she recollected was also talking about 3 brothers who, by Donald Trump's Justice Department, are being charged with the things she claimed they did. So not deemed credible, but listed 3 brothers who are now being charged by Donald Trump's own DOJ. Okay, not credible, right? So this is a sham trial, a kangaroo court. What are you just? Here's the thing: if you can read, you should do it. Make you not sound that stupid. Anyways. Lies from a disgusting so-called preacher. I am a preacher, and you're defending this guy? This guy. Guys, here's the thing. You can read all these files. This is the incredible thing when people are like, lies! I'm like, you could just read this shit for yourself. You don't have to trust me. We're going to go over Melania's stuff, because I thought, listen, call me crazy. Call me nuts, okay? But I was like, hey, why is nobody looking into Melania? She just had that big movie. You know what I mean? She just had that big movie. Why is nobody looking for her name? Everybody's going after Donald Trump, Bill Clinton, Bill Gates, Richard Branson, Elon Musk, Elon's brother, Netanyahu, Putin. I mean, he's just it's the worst of the worst. Why isn't anybody going after her? You know, why isn't anybody? And I thought we should change that. And I've done some digging. I did a little bit of reading. So we're gonna do that. We should just do some of that now. And the official word for this pack of people is twatties. It's the word of the day. Twatsies. Twatsies. And yes, I am an ordained reverend. I know some of you have this shock value. You're like, he can't be ordained. Listen to the way he talks. But my heart is good. That's the problem with you. You've been shallow-howled. Or you haven't been shallow-howled. So you see the veneer of people. So when you see Donald Trump posting things like this, like he did last week, you're like, yeah, but. You're a yeah, but. Yeah, but. It's an ancient Appalachian Yeti monster, a yabut. And you think words mean everything. Steffelson, hold on. Read my post. Trump is 10,000 worse than Benghazi. He is. I'm sorry, Steffelson. I didn't see your post, man. I'm so sorry. He is. No, you said 1,000. I say 100 times 1,000 worse than Benghazi. Donald Trump and the mentions of him in the Epstein files is like a Benghazi every 4 seconds. When you count the ripple effect for the families and the healing and the PTSD and all the stuff, when the ripple effect happens, he's much worse. But when you're shocked that, you know, a preacher is calling these people out, I empower you to go read Jesus H. Christ's, H, I believe, stood for hating those damn capitalists selling stuff in his father's house. Long middle name, but back then, you know, they didn't even have last names. They would be like, hey, is that the Nazarene? I would implore you to read his Woe to the Hypocrites, where he addresses the people with power at the time and how they were whitewashed coffins, you know, empty on the inside, but beautiful looking on the outside. And you can't even say these are beautiful people. They all look like cookie cutter molds of Donald Trump's daughter. I wonder why. He hasn't said anything weird about his daughter, has he? You know, the man of family values. I won't look into it. But let's get into some Melania stuff. Let's see where I started. No, I didn't start here. I started here because I thought this was funny that they had in the Epstein files, the old Wikipedia page about, look at him. He looks like a happy boy who just got a FIFA Peace Prize. He got a soccer Peace Prize. Everyone needs a trophy president. My God. How do you make your whole image about, oh, I hate these kids today. They all need a trophy. And then you're like, congratulations, sir, on your soccer Peace Prize trophy because you didn't win the real one. You understand this is why we don't usually pay attention to you in the comments, because you don't stand for anything. Here we go. I highlighted some of this. This is not highlighted in the Epstein files. It's underwritten in red, but I highlighted this because there's some, what are they called? Everyone calls them this. Everyone's calling them this. The word's escaping me. Some dummies. There's some dummies that support Donald Trump that like, he only got a loan from his dad. He only did that. No. He became president of his father, Fred Trump's real estate business in 1971. He didn't do anything. He just inherited his wealth. And then he did 6 bankruptcies and had 4,000 legal actions against him. Like, worst fucking businessman ever. His whole existence is fraudulent. I needed to show you that. So then, what else am I reading about Melania? I found this, which I thought was hilarious, because I've been saying forever, and everybody's doing it. Everybody's saying this. Melania don't live with Donald. Melania, like, if you loved your husband and you knew he had dementia and pooped his pants all the time, you'd at least hold his hand. And she doesn't even do that. So they ain't ever at the same house. You know, maybe for photo ops. But here's the proof. This is between, who was this? You can't see, but it's JEE at JEE iTunes at Gmail. Jeff Epstein had the weirdest emails. The weirdest. I think it's between him and Michael Wolff. I can't remember, but again, they're, you know, blacking out people that shouldn't be redacted. I don't know. But if you know anything about the Epstein files, Jeff Epstein has like JEE vacations at gmail.com, and then he has JEE iTunes, which, hey, Tim Apple. His name's Tim Cook, but our stupid Madam President called him Tim Apple, you know, because it's a tough fucking thing to remember, Tim Cook. Anyways, I wonder why. Anyways, they say he told me he was no, or something was at an event, and then JEE iTunes at gmail.com says, I have not. He's declined to give me a copy. That's why I was thinking about I think it was referring to Michael Wolff's book, but I'm not sure. Again, stuff's redacted. He says, Melania, question mark, not living with him. Nikki Haley, space, comma. Like, how illiterate do you have to be to do a space and then a comma? Trump says, but who can trust him? You, lots. Nikki Ayers. I mentioned in the Palm Beach house sale. Hopefully not anywhere else. Melania, not living with him. Interesting. Let's go to the next thing. Oh, down here. Don't read that stuff. Not cool. Not cool. And Trump's mentioned in it, so don't want to trigger MAGA. But it says the student, they're talking about a student who basically came to tutor, what's his name? Barron. What a bad name for a kid. You don't name someone Barron unless you don't want grandkids. Horrible name. Bad choice. How the Spanish tutor says the students blank knew Melania and dished about Melania's marriage to Trump, saying that it was a battered marriage. Oof. Roblox. Oof. In Miami, there's legal documents filed for legal separation. What am I, Jeff Epstein with my fucking speaking? Lives literally a tower in Largo Estate. Oh man, he's keeping her like a like a princess in Shrek up in the tower. My God. Ooh. Don't be disrespectful to the host, you coward. Thank you, Sunshine Lacrosse. I appreciate that. They're all disrespect. They have no respect for themselves. That's what it is, you know. You can't have respect for yourself when you're worshiping people that are mentioned this many times in the Epstein files. You know what I mean? Like, you just can't. You can't. That's why, just if anyone's... I got more audio to play for you. My God. That's why they want other people to suffer, because they can't love themselves or respect themselves. And they figure they're a lost cause. The best I can get out of this world is to just feel like I have a little bit of power because I'm a dicked person and, you know, exercise that upon other people. That's why they cheer on the eradication of the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, every amendment. That's why, you know, they're just constantly trying to tear up the Constitution, no matter what, to defend, you know, their little tiny power. Okay? Power could be a metaphor for whatever. TDS. Yeah, thank you. The Daily Show. I love them. Jon Stewart's the man. Appreciate it. You have EDS, Epstein Dysfunction Syndrome, and you probably also have ED, but what do I know? You know, you're just in here defending the worst of the worst people. You understand, if you went to prison, you defended these people, you probably wouldn't make it out. You know that? Anyways. So then I'm digging. And I'm going, I got to read all these Melania files, all 11 things on Melania. I'm sure they weren't deleted at all. But I found this one. It's interesting. This is a Michael Wolff to Jeffrey Epstein. There's the JEE vacation at gmail.com. Why is that even, you know, so weird? JEE vacations, JEE iTunes. It's, God, anyways. I say, great, where? Have you heard from your boy? We'll be there all week. Sunday, I'm guessing. So if so, I'm sorry to have missed that, but makes sense. Arriving Paris tomorrow. You, some journalists working on a lead on a Melania boyfriend. Oi. Now, I can't figure out if the a Melania boyfriend means there's many. And I feel like maybe I should set the groundwork for this email. The groundwork is that Donald Trump has cheated on all his wives. The last one where he cheated on Melania, because he did with Stormy Daniels, there was like a whole court case about it. Remember, he got spanked with, I don't know, Vanity Fair or something. Who gives a shit? And he got 34 felonies for trying to hush it up, I guess you could say. So, you know, this isn't really the family of family values. I don't think they value anything besides greed and power, greed and lust, greed and pride. What are the other 7 deadly sins? We sloth. You see them at McDonald's all the time. Let's just hit them all. 7, the movie Deadly Sins, because that's where we all learned it from. Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman. Pride, greed, wrath, envy, lust, gluttony, sloth. Hot damn. He got all 7. Wouldn't you know? Pride, he's definitely always the best. Greed, wants to sue the taxpayer for $10 billion because somebody leaked his tax returns. Every president releases their tax returns. Stop being such a baby. You need a safe space. Wrath, prosecuting everybody that disagrees with him. Envy, always needing to be the best. Nobody can be a challenge. He can't not win the Peace Prize, or FIFA has to give him one. Lust, just look at any comment Donald Trump's made about his daughter. Gluttony, seeing all those photos of him being like, look at all my McDonald's. And sloth. Yeah, he doesn't do much. You ever seen him drink water or walk upstairs? The guy's not really athletically fit. I know doctors and probably Joe Rogan have told you otherwise, but I would call him a sloth. I don't want to disrespect sloths. They're adorable. But I'm sure he's growing some kind of fungus from being a slow-moving person. So anyways, back to this. Working on a lead on a Melania boyfriend. Now, I can't figure this out. He does not possess any fruits of the Spirit. Thank you. That's more church language. So what do you guys think that means? Working on a lead on a Melania boyfriend. So are they trying to figure out if she has one or if she has many? Because either way, you don't write this if, you know. Interesting. Now, let's go to the most juicy. When I saw this, I was like, what the does this mean? And there needs to be more. There needs to be a follow-up, right? And this Epstein file was very hard to read because it's in handwriting that's not always very legible. But we speak to the churches here. Yes, we do. I know exactly who God is. I hate these troll accounts. Sunshine Lacrosse. Trump hasn't done for this country. Well, no. He has done for this country. A lot of he's made us isolationist. He's made us white nationalist. He's made us fall back 70 years. No, I would say 251 years. He's brought us, when he was talking about the good old days, most of you didn't realize he was talking pre-Declaration of Independence. He was talking about tyrannical rule by King George III. That's why he sold everybody red hats. Because if you don't remember, when we fought the Revolutionary War, it was the redcoats coming for us. They were the loyalists, loyal to a crown, that they thought the king was almighty, supreme, ordained by God, could never do anything wrong. You don't talk against him and he could just do whatever he wants. And that's what we're living in again. Except the coats aren't really fashionable and they're all made in China. So he made his hats in China so he could sell them at a big markup, make a ton of money off these idiots, and they would all identify themselves to the real Americans. And we could go, look, it's a loyalist traitor to America, an anti-American class traitor. So that's what it is. He has done a few things. I just wouldn't say any good stuff. Done a lot of including in his pants, but not many good things. I see I've triggered a lot of the so-called alpha males. I love when I trigger you maggot little swine, you little hog snarfers. Keep telling me how upset you are while you're in my live and you don't have the courage to go live and show your face on your own. Okay? Keep doing it. Tell me what a bad person you are for standing up for people. What a bad person you are for saying the Constitution Declaration matters. Okay, keep being triggered. You know, YouTube's free. You can start a channel and you can show your face anytime you want. What are you, scared? Scared? You chicken shit like Donald Trump? Remember? You know what else I found in the Epstein files? Record or recordings talking about how he was deemed fit to serve in the military in 1971 or something. And then it turns out a couple years later, he all of a sudden medically didn't qualify. Bone spurs, which only happened to last the duration of Vietnam. Fascinating stuff for all you patriot-loving Americans. Is that patriotic? I don't know. Anyways, let's get to this. So I'm reading, and there's like 50 pages of these notes. It's exhausting to go through this shit, you know? I don't know how some of these good YouTubers do it. Like, where is he? Where is he? Here's Boston Smalls. I'm going to let Boston Smalls go through it, and then I'll read this to you. Boston Smalls, great tuber. If you don't know, please go follow him on YouTube. Amazing guy. Link in the description.
I've been posting e-file stuff, mostly just on my timeline, on X or Twitter, whatever. But I had to show you guys something real quick. To Ghislaine Maxwell. Any interest in being on the Shadow Commission on 9/11, the membership list is secret. Ed Epstein. Thanks for the invite. Unfortunately, I cannot be on the Shadow Commission. A 9/11 Shadow Commission, bro?
Wait for the next part. It gets juicy.
And apparently, JE was collaborating with Bitcoin developer, biohacker, and transhumanist Brian Bishop to create the first live birth of a human called Designer Baby in human cloning within 5 years, and was conducting initial experiments in Ukraine. Here, let me try and blow it up a little better so you can read it.
Link to this video in the
I
description.
have to take a screenshot and enlarge it. Fucking hell, bro.
This is the transhumanist. This is the genetics guy.
2019, you got this fucking article right here.
From the MIT review.
Do-it-yourself designer baby project. Yeah. For a few years now, Bishop, a 29-year-old programmer and Bitcoin investor, has been leaving a trail of comments about human enhancement on the web. He's a transhumanist, which means he thinks humans can be improved in profound ways by technology. He long exhorted others to be something with the human condition. Look at this guy. This is the guy right here.
Link to this video, Boston Smalls, is in the description. Go follow him. Go support him. Amazing guy, another masshole. And for anybody who's like, oh, you're not Boston, you don't know your history or you're not from here, okay? We are a rebellious crowd and we don't like being fucking told to worship a king, if you know anything about our history. So just shut your fucking sauce box. But it's always weird to me when, you know, these are the people that are like designer babies. Like clearly you didn't love yourself enough to just be like this. Hold on. I got another audio clip for you. Okay, this is when Mr. Rogers went on the Arsenio Hall show. This is peak fucking me growing up. And I want to play this for you. I gotta get a little further in because Arsenio likes to talk.
You know, we all grew up with you. And I see things going on out there, kind of worries me. I wish more people would watch Mr. Rogers instead of some of the things you see going on. There's an attitude out there. There's some things going on. There's a lot of hopelessness. What do we need to do?
weighs heavy on all of us, doesn't it?
Yeah. Do you hear that response? Mr. Rogers goes, weighs heavy on all of us, doesn't it? How powerful is that?
And there's no simple answer, of course. But if we could, through television programs as well as every other imaginable program, let people know that each one of us is precious. Let everybody know that we have value in this life.
That is truly remarkable. What a saint. Another saint of the church. Not only Tupac, Kurt Cobain, but Mr. Rogers. Saint of the church. I'm Reverend Rob. Subscribe, hit the notification bell. Welcome to church. This isn't your typical church. This is the Church of Radical Communion. All are welcome. You don't have to worship anything. You just got to be here and know that you are precious. Your work doesn't define your worth. Understand me? We don't need designer babies. You don't need to be a designer baby to feel valued. This guy clearly, I hate to say it, but by looking at him, felt inadequate his whole life, that he got so much money, he was like, we got to create designer babies. And I'm guessing he probably thought he could put his soul into it. You know what I mean? Like, it's a pathetic fucking use of time, especially when you have that much money. But Boston Smalls uncovering that in the Epstein files while I'm working on other stuff, because I felt like Melania just wasn't getting the attention she needed. So I wanted to play that for you, and then we'll get to this handwritten note talking about somebody trying to buy elite models with Jeff Epstein. He introduced Melania to President Trump. Now, again, some of this stuff is kind of coded and you don't specifically know, especially with the redactions, but all I can assume is he, Jeffrey Epstein, introduced Melania to the president. I don't know. Release all the files. Stop redacting names of powerful, wealthy men. And then the thing that I found going through so many documents, my God, I'm glad I found this. And the writing is not that legible. But I said, wait, what does that say? What in the Joel Osteen hell does this say? Don't read up here. If you can read this scribble scratch, don't read it because it's disgusting. But down here it says, I had never seen a thing before. It was small, and that's why I figured he wanted young girls, because he was embarrassed. And I went, holy this sums up all of the Epstein files. These small men who embody all 7 deadly sins, who think their power and money makes them untouchable and above the law, cannot, like the birthday card Trump wrote to Epstein, cannot think that money does anything for them anymore. They don't understand what egg cost or gas cost. To them, it's nonsense. They don't know what groceries is. Is that a medieval word? We don't know. So they're constantly seeking something, and because they're all dick men, they need to feel this kind of power. It's the only thing that makes them, makes their thing look big. Steffelson, thank you for the 199 super chat. Good show, but I gotta go. FFT, read off my posts. Listen, I'm old. What is FFT? 4 freak tantrums? Farting Facebook turds? I'm so sorry. I'm so bad at like the BRB stuff. FFT, read off my posts. All right. Impeach Trump yesterday. I say exile him, and we exile him to Epstein Island with his daughters. Why am I not seeing? Oh, what's up, Large Taco? Another reverend in the house. Another one of the church members, Reverend. Yo, Radical Reverend, subbed. Thank you, Snowset. Appreciate you. Sorry, I didn't see this until now. I am new here. Welcome, new here. Your name says Josh, but if you are new here, I will go by that, whatever you identify, new here. But you definitely do not seem like a person that at all reflects the ideals of Mr. Rogers. The shallow-minded. I know I'm a little harsh with the PDF files. I know you think, just say everybody's precious, even those abusing young kids. But that's not what Mr. Rogers meant. See, it's like the people who pervert the word of Christ. And they're like, oh, we should just, stone people to And you're like, oh, you missed the part where Jesus was like, who here first hasn't sinned? You can throw the stone. And all you heard is plop, 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 plop. That's rocks falling. Steffelson, I don't see your stuff. News Trolls here. What's up? If you're on the list, what does party matter? Justice is supposed to be bipartisan. Yeah. That grifting draft dodger. Steffelson, I do not know why I'm not seeing any of your stuff. I'm so sorry. What's up, Thorn? Good to see you. Sir Jean. Yeah, I don't see any of your stuff. I don't know why it's not coming through. I feel really bad. There's Sassy Mo. What's up? Good to see you. There's only two sides. It's rich versus poor. That's right, folks. Like Tupac said. I believe it was Tupac. It was somebody. Somebody brilliant. They got money for wars, but they can't feed the poor. It's not left versus right. It's up versus down. That's what this is telling you. That's what the Epstein files are showing you. That they're all hanging out together. For the people who are like, are you going to say anything about Bill Clinton? Guys, Trump's been friends with the Clintons before he was in office. His words. Why do you think there's pictures of them together? This is not, they've sold you on some political divide. Like, we got to get those leftists, even though there's not one leftist in the government. Just so you know, this is what leftists believe. I believe I can speak for Antifa on this. Universal health care. Preferably, we tax billionaires at 100%. They have to be content being 999 millionaires. And if they just can't afford their avocado yachts and iPhone drones on $999 million, you know, maybe they're living outside their means. So we tax them at 100% and we pay for all our healthcare with that. You know, we use their tax money that they just keep getting tax breaks on, that Donald Trump keeps giving them tax breaks on. And we use that money to make sure our communities are healthy. We also only have a 3-day work week, 15 hours max, 5 hours a day. The rest of your week end, we're going to turn Mondays and Fridays into weekends. Wednesday will still be hump day. Don't worry. You can still make the hump day joke, even though everybody at the office hates you. But there will be no more in case of the Mondays. Fuck you. Stop. Just stop it. Nobody likes that, okay? So Mondays and Fridays are officially going to become the weekend, and you are going to have to pursue a passion other than worshiping Madam President. Paint, you know, pick up a book, draw, sing. I don't care, you know. You're going to have to do something other. I know you think AI is going to... I know Joe Rogan told you AI is going to do it all for you, but no, that's not the point of life, okay? What else do we believe in? Oh yeah, no more Americans are going to call an Uber instead of an ambulance, which is very American. There's going to be no more crowdfunding your medical debts. Like, that's a thing of the fucking past. I can't believe we allow that to happen, and we're not like revolting over crowdfunding medical treatments. Do you hear what that is? Let me explain why this is so upsetting. So collectively, over our humanity, since the Croods till now, during the Croods' time, they were finding like elderberries and eating them, being like, oh, I feel a little bit better, right? And up till now, collectively, science has pushed, not capitalism, science and our tax dollars have pushed for cures, breakthroughs, antibiotics, little tricks and life hacks, onions on your feet, whatever it is. We have collectively, as humans, all got together and said, whatever makes us healthy, let's share that shit. But here in America, the capitalists said, no, we own that knowledge, and you have to buy it from us. If you don't, you die. That sounds like extortion. That sounds like mob tactics. And somehow Americans are just like, this is the way it is, man. It's the rule of law. It's like, who do you think wrote those laws, you dummies? We should reject this shit. So because it's so expensive, if you don't know, if you're outside of America, there's this thing called medical debt. Holy shit, it's like lunch debt, where they starve kids if kids don't have money. If kids don't have money, they starve them at school. I can't fucking believe this is how we in America were like, yeah, this sounds good. You know, kids can just go hungry if they don't have the money to fucking buy it. The kids are supposed to be at school. It's not my problem.
But there's this thing called medical debt, where if you get enough of it, you can lose your home so you don't die. So you don't die, but now you're homeless. Perfect system, nothing wrong. So there's a ton of people who go to these crowdfunding sites where they're like, help, I got cancer, trying not to lose home. Please fund me. And just hoping. This is the system we allowed to happen? Are you fucking kidding me? I am an ordained reverend, and this is what Jesus would be livid at. If you don't believe me, go read when Jesus feeds people or heals people. He wasn't like, all right, what do you got to put up for collateral, blind man? He wasn't like, hey, blind guy, I see you got what, a cane? Those are some pretty nice Nike slippers you got on. I'm going to need both of those, and then you're healed. Not how it happened. It's just not. It's in the fucking Bible, not in the Epstein files. In the Bible. Jesus never was like, okay, I got to see your insurance card. Looks like you got a $50 copay, and then I will make you walk. Didn't happen. Or the SNAP people. Oh, woe to the SNAP folks. I'm going to get all Jesus on you right now. Oh, woe to the Pharisees and the hypocrites. Woe to the SNAP folks. I implore you to go read when Jesus has the 3 loaves and the fucking 5 fish. He wasn't going. Disciples, go check how many hours these people worked this week. It didn't happen. You know what he said? Feed them all. Feed them all. Don't tell me this is going to be some bullshit Christian country and you're not feeding people, especially kids. Motherfuckers, woe to you hypocrites. Read Matthew 18:6, where Jesus said, if you're going to make a child trip and stumble, it is better for you to have a heavy millstone around your neck, one that donkeys would push. That's how heavy. And then throw yourself into the sea. Make children stumble? What could be all over this Epstein files? Woe to you fucking hypocrites. And if you're not hearing that in church right now, church is missing the mark. And that's why I had to start a church a long time ago. That's why I'm an ordained reverend, because I am sick and tired of hearing these people placate like, oh, you got some life problems. The country is the cancer. The country. When I played the Justice Department talking about how there's nowhere on the ends of the earth you can hide from us, we're going to get you for criminals. When they're releasing these files, they're fucking lying, okay? So if any church right now isn't on the pulse going like, hey, the times we're living in are probably causing your stress. Can't afford egg? That's not a personal issue. Oh, you got cancer and can't afford it? That's not a personal issue. This bullshit, rugged individualism is not real. This is a community that is a country. That Jesus said, love your neighbor, and most of you motherfuckers thought it meant the person next to you, and you still can't love them, but it means everyone. Welcome to goddamn church. Ugh. And somebody's going to be like, he said goddamn church. Content of my heart, you fucking moron. You fucking moron. We need more churches like this. More churches like this wouldn't let this bullshit happen, I'll tell you that. If we had more churches like this instead of Joel Osteen asking you for some seed money, I just need a little more seed money. You see how big this church is? We're going to keep the heat on and fuel up my Ferrari. If we had less of that and more people saying, take a fucking stand. If you're in this building, you're curious about some creator. You know, the one they referenced in what's that? The Declaration of Independence? Imbued by the creator? What is those? Inalienable rights? Get to the fucking point, people. This regime is stripping you of everything, including your humanity. And these churches are almost complicit. So I won't stand by for it. I recorded you. We got a tattletale in here. Is that what you do? You snitch on people? Record me, clip me, send it to fucking everybody. Help me grow bigger. We need more of this shit. What are you going to do? Fucking record me? I'm in church right now. I already told you. Listen to your own regime. They said if you interrupt a church, you will go to jail. That's why they arrested Don Lemon. That's what they said. Again, don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me. But at least we know you're bitch made, right? Why don't you record them and say, hey, look what I found in the Epstein files. We should go after these people. We should go after these people. Here, I'll give you something else to record. Here, ready? We found him. He's at Harvard. Oh my God, he's at Harvard. Oh, you won't snitch on any of these people? You fucking hog snarfer. We got more stuff. Oh, here's another one. Go snitch on him. Speaking of language, I want to play some Rutger Bregman before this gets deleted. I had 2 videos of Rutger Bregman, my favorite Dutch historian. He's been posting some videos on YouTube. He doesn't do YouTube much, but he is decisive in how he breaks down this propaganda. And it's so good, I have to share it with you. And I don't know, I'm hopefully going to play this because I had 2 videos I wanted to play and one's already taken off YouTube. I don't know what happened, but this one's about ICE learning their language from the Twatsies.
Behind the $100 million advertising push for ICE are using a playbook we have seen before with the Gestapo and the Stasi. Now let me explain why. The most effective systems of repression in history did not sell themselves as cruel. They sold themselves as reasonable. In East Germany, the Stasi didn't recruit informants. They recruited unofficial collaborators, responsible citizens doing their so-called civic duty. And surveillance wasn't surveillance. It was protecting social stability. In Nazi Germany, the Gestapo didn't say, we're arresting innocent people. No, they talked about protective custody, prevention, security, words that made violence sound like care.
Dangerous.
Do you notice the pattern? Today, ICE isn't talking about raids. It talks about defending the homeland. It doesn't imprison families. It carries out removals. Human beings become cases and suffering becomes policy execution. Now, what really stands out is that this isn't recruitment by force. It's recruitment by persuasion, using the same tactics as modern marketing. According to internal strategy documents, the effort includes paid partnerships with fitness, military, and tactical influencers aimed at Gen Z and millennial audiences, recruitment ads framed with patriotic imagery, such as Uncle Sam and calls to defend America, and signing bonus up to $50,000 and student loan repayment incentives. Now, when you spend that kind of money telling people you're keeping them safe, you don't need them to agree with every policy. You just need them to stop asking questions. That's how it worked then, and that's how it works now. The Stasi told us that mass surveillance can become normal when people don't read through the lines of what is actually happening. And the Gestapo showed that repression skills easily when it's normalized through procedures and carefully chosen words. History doesn't repeat itself because we forget the past. It repeats itself because we keep falling for the same words.
Powerful. History doesn't repeat itself because we forget the past. History repeats itself because we keep falling for the same words. God damn, he's so brilliant. The other thing I wanted to show you about that $50,000. I forgot to do this the other day. That ICE thing. Check this out. ICE agents on Reddit realized they got screwed out of their signing bonus. This is so funny. No better person deserves this. You know, usually I'm for the working class. Usually I'm for, you know, people in our communities to be paid more, much more. The minimum wage should be $66 an hour. And I know, MAGA, that's going to freak you out. You're going to really be triggered by that, but just try to fucking shut up. Nobody cares what you think. You defend Donald Trump. But really, these are the people that deserve to be screwed over. And here's the lesson. Like Rutger said, it's not because they forgot the past. They fell for the same words. Because if you know anything about Donald Trump, he doesn't pay people. He doesn't pay contractors. He skips out on everything. He screwed his own charity. He's not allowed to have a charity in New York. We went over that yesterday again. So you just got to pay a little bit of attention, even poorly, to be like, oh, this is a massive con. And they're finding out and trying to, you know, ask each other on Reddit, hey, man, anybody else got paid? Let's go through it because this is a gem. Here, you want to be cheered up? Let's cheer you up. This is from Now This Impact. r/ice_ero. Description, unofficial form for current deportation officers. The language is so specific. The Trump admin enticed people to join ICE by promising $50K signing bonuses, student loan forgiveness, and good pay. Now, only now do they realize, the new agents have realized Trump hasn't made good on any of it, and they took to Reddit to look for answers. Let's continue. Here we go. Anyone get the bonus yet? You didn't read the fine print, did you, knucklehead? Listen, as somebody who worked in contracts for a long time, you got to read the whole thing. You just got to. You got to figure out how you're getting those bonuses. I try to teach this to people all the time. Also, never give them a number first. You'll undersell yourself. Anyone get the bonus yet? Don't expect much. It's like $6,000 after taxes, and they put in the regular paychecks. You end up paying about $4 to $5 in taxes on one check. Oh, you're not a billionaire. That's why you're paying those. Next person says didn't even get paid yet for the base check. Side note, the fine print, always read it, is very different from the $50K bonus Trump sold them on. The $50K is split up. $10K if you're a former employee return. This is the funniest part. So $10K if you're a former employee returning. $10K if you submitted an application before August, and the rest is $10K payments for 3 years. So it's technically not $50,000 to everyone. It's $40,000. And then it's, again, not $50,000 to everyone. Only people who applied before August. So it's really $30,000. This is just the funniest, like, dumb people, like, what not to do when, you know, thinking you're getting everything. Read everything, especially if it's money and, you know, you only operate for money. You have no ethics, character, background, spine. You're a coward who has to hide your face while you know, kidnap children. If you're going to be that person, like, just, you know, and the money's important, more important than humanity, just read it. Maybe they can't read. I don't know what it is. I don't know. But that's my advice. I don't know why I'm giving them advice. Here's another post. Health insurance. Been here for about 2 months. This one's so funny because if you know anything about the woke radical leftists, we want health insurance not to be tied to work. You pay taxes. More importantly, billionaires will. And you just get health insurance because of your taxes. That's what your taxes are supposed to do. They're supposed to fund things that help you. They're not just to pay politicians to pretend like they represent us really when they're being paid more by corporations. That's not what taxes are. I know people, you know, growing up now think taxes just go and fund Israel's healthcare, you know, but that's not what it's supposed to do, folks. Anyways, been here for about 2 months, still waiting for my health insurance. Is anyone else having that issue as well? I chose BCBS Basic. MSS told me that they don't know how long it will take, and I have a sick daughter with no insurance. Looks like you're fucked. Oh well. You hated the radical left wokus who didn't want health insurance tied to anything, so nobody's sick daughter has to fucking worry. You know? Ooh, you radical leftists want my sick kid to not have to wait until Donald Trump makes good on his health care promise to me. Ugh, makes me so angry. These people are fucking morons. Man, Monday is 4 weeks since I started and haven't been paid yet. This is just the most delicious shit of ICE officers complaining about they haven't got paid for their law-breaking procedures. They are not law enforcement, folks, and they have no authority over U.S. citizens. That's just law. So if you believe in law and obey orders, then shut the fuck up. This is so delicious. I love seeing this. And I hope you never get paid. I hope you're dissolved and they embezzle the money to Donald Trump. And you got to sit there and complain. Well, I still haven't got paid. I beat up a lot of women and children. Okay, hope you never get paid. I hope you never get paid. Okay? Oh, God. I got to put you in a timeout because you're so fucking stupid. Sunshine euphoria. But yet the other side is the bad guys. Yeah, I would say it is a special kind of stupid to be liberal. Thank God I'm not liberal. It's also a special kind of stupid to hear someone say you're a leftist and think they're a liberal. You understand that, right?
It's a special kind of dumb to think someone who just told you 4 or 5 times I'm the radical woke left that liberals and conservatives warn you about because I want health care. And to call me a liberal, that's a special kind of dumb you just can't learn about in school because you're probably dumb. Anyways, the Senate gets health care. Yeah, they do. I want justice. I want people to start loving their neighbor as themselves. That's what I want. And Donald Trump has just never, ever, not once, not fucking once, even remotely been like, hey guys, let's all fucking get along. Not even a whiff of it when he pooped his pants. Not even a whiff of, hey guys, let's be kind to each other. So if MAGA's gonna come in here and try to tell me some shit, just understand who you worship. A guy who is making fun of disabled reporters, a guy who is bragging about moving.
I moved on her like a bitch, but I couldn't get there.
The grab him by the guy. I mean, shut the fuck up. The only thing he said that I agree with is this.
Everything's computer.
Everything is computer. It's crazy. Well, I do agree with this one.
Smart people don't like babies.
Smart people do not like Donald Trump. His words, not mine. Smart people don't like Donald Trump. Did you hear that? Is it different when I say it? Because when he says stuff like,
Educated, I love the poorly educated.
I love the poorly educated. You maggots, M-A-G-A-T-S, cheer for that. You're cheering for your own stupidity. You're like, hey, he thinks we're dumb. He loves us because we're morons. He loves us because we're Tim Pool educated. But does it hit different when I say smart people don't like Donald Trump? Do you feel a little palpitation in the heart? And you're like, hey, what is he saying? And when Donald Trump says it, you just hear wah, 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 and then pause, applause. Oh, a bunch of twatsies. That's all you are. Rooted in dawn. One time when he was on Air Force One, he told people he didn't think he was going to make it to heaven. That's true. We covered it here. Hold on. Oh, sorry. Am I paused? Unpause me. Tim Pool educate. Oh, what's up, Jessica Starr? Good to see you. Okay, am I back? I don't want to do this thing. He's pillaging the treasury to steal as much for himself as these maggots are out here telling us what a great guy is. He literally is pillaging the treasury. We covered this yesterday. Scott Bessent, who's in charge of the treasury, was asked, so if Donald Trump sues the treasury, are you going to cut a taxpayer check for $10 billion if you're told to? And he's like, I don't know. I'm not in charge of anything. I don't know. I just follow orders. Not a good defense. And these fucking people, man. What is the charge?
What is the charge? Eating a meal? A succulent Chinese meal?
10 billion at this moment. Unreal. That's how you know, even out of the 7 deadly sins, welcome to church. I'm Rob. Hit subscribe. And the notification bell. And if you want to like it, whatever, you can. I don't do it for the likes. I do it for the love. What was I saying? Rob, thank you for holding truth to power. Besson is disgusting. 100%. LDS pun dude. Thank you. At least we're not all lovers. I mean, that's really the line in the lava, I guess. That's what we're in. You know? There's like 2 kinds of people on this earth. Those that are against everything in the Epstein files and those that will excuse it. I think that's really the line, you know? Judge me by my enemies.
Oh god damn. JD's been here for 2 hours just begging that I'll pay attention to his comments because he can't acknowledge that he supports, you know, the Epstein files. He loves everything in him, probably because he sees a lot of himself in there. I bet you don't know what a woman is. I have to do this every time. This is exhausting. JD, a woman is somebody who covers their drink when you walk by them. It's not even funny anymore. Like, I have to do this so often because these Charlie Clan repeaters, by the way, Charlie Clan lost the gun debate by a long shot. They regurgitate what Mama Bird Clan, Charlie Clan told them, and they think it's like the end all be all. Bro, this joke is like so old where you just say a woman is someone who covers their drink when you walk by. And like, I don't even get joy out of it anymore. I fucking hate dunking on maggots. Charlie who? I call him Charlie Clan. You might know him as Charlie Kirk, but he was just a racist douche that was used as a prop piece for the, you know, the regime. And then his wife did a monster truck tour on media, you know, putting fake tears in her eyes so she could be like, I think families should be in the home while I'm on tour, leaving my daughters after the fucking tragedy that will forever shape their lives, you know? That hip-hop hypocrites. I have guns because I'm a leftist. There we go. There we go. Old Second Amendment. Oh my God. Listen, I'm just going to put you in timeout because if you're that stupid to ask me what did he say that's racist when he literally defined racism for you, you probably don't deserve to fucking be in the chat. Let's just say that. Oh yeah, that's right. Thank you, Sarjon. And whenever we talk about Charlie Clan, Kirk Clan, whatever, they're interchangeable at this point. Nobody even remembers him. We are Charlie Kirk. Whatever. Again, my theory on this, I'm gonna do a little conspiracy theory, which I think that's good to have in church, you know, a little superstition. My conspiracy theory on Charlie Clan is he died by fentanyl. Don't believe your eyes and ears. Don't believe what you saw, folks. Just like in Minneapolis, whatever they're telling you, this video coming out, don't believe it. I'm pretty sure Charlie Kirk died by fentanyl. Now, there is no toxicology report, and they haven't released one. So until they do, in my book, he died of a fentanyl overdose. Same with Brian Thompson, United Healthcare middle management CEO, not even the big guy. They continued the meeting while he was laying in the street dying of fentanyl overdose. He hasn't had a toxicology report released either. So as far as I'm concerned, fentanyl's killing all these assholes. Holy shit. Remember when the right did that? Remember? Let's weaponize their words. There's more stuff to go over. So many more things. What else did we do? Oh, here. Let's take a moment to read from the book of Amaru. This is Tupac, a saint in this church.
If I can't live free, if I can't live with the same respect as the next man, I don't want to be here. Because God has cursed me to see what life should be like. They said that I couldn't be in pain. I could not feel, I could not be hurt. In my moment of pain, when I was shot 5 times in jail for a crime I didn't commit, they just said anything to assassinate my character. Every time I speak, I want the truth to come out. You know what I'm saying? Every time I speak, I want to shiver. You know, I don't want them to be like, they know what I'm going to say because it's polite. And even if I get in trouble, ain't that what we're supposed to do? I'm not saying I'm going to rule the world or I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world.
Love Tupac. Love Tupac. Everybody should listen to Tupac. I got family in Hawaii. What island are you on? It just sounds like, you know, somebody who wants to just fight can't kind of counter anything I'm saying. And I don't fight PDF files, so just so you know. I think law and order should prevail. But what island? I lived out in Hawaii. I got family out there. Oahu? Oh, whereabouts? You up in Kaneohe? We're in Oahu. I couldn't believe that there's a maggot Hawaiian. Tupac's mom wrote some great books. Yes. Tupac's mom is amazing. Afeni Shakur, part of the Panther 21. She defended herself against the state in New York and won. While she was locked up, she was pregnant with Tupac. Amazing story. If you don't know about Afeni Shakur, go and read about her. Rest in peace. Jesus, all these fucking people in here are like just dumb fucking bitches. Listen, if you're triggered by what I'm saying, maybe look at why. I want you to understand what I stand against. Everybody in the Epstein files that is alleged to have heinous things going on, and that the government, oh, thank you. Hold on. One Odd Duck. Love that name. Thank you, One Odd Duck. You can't win with your brain, you want to fight. Well, it's just pathetic, you know? Love the smart assery. That's what we do here. A true Hawaiian Polynesia would never vote orange. Yeah. I would like to think any indigenous people that, you know, Donald Trump is locking up with ICE would see themselves in, I don't know how to explain this. Some people are just so fucking far gone. But again, the line in the lava is really like who supports the Epstein files and who doesn't. That's it for me. You know, I don't need to know anymore. And this is really not like judge a book by a cover, unless the cover is the Lolita Express fucking whatever that Epstein wrote. Like, that's it. You don't get to fucking support all these people listed in the Epstein files, and then we pretend like we play nice. Because what that says to me is you're a hazard in my community. You're a hazard. You would turn the other way. You would lie for these people. You're a hazard. You understand that? Who the is David? I don't know. Who is David? Now we're going to find out. I watched the Nick Shirley video. Thinly veiled racist propaganda. Incredibly shoddy journal. Kind of the worst journal. That will be shown in classes of how not to do journalism for futures. Yeah. And that was all set up too. You know, there was like a Republican fucking informant, compromat, who gave Nick Shirley all that information. And then as soon as that video got boosted by Elon's white nationalist website, the government went in there. Like, this was a setup. This was a setup, people. Nick Shitley, he wears Velcro shoes. And then I seen videos of him going out to San Diego, and I thought, come on, San Diego. Oh, what's up, Dusty Thorne? Good to see everybody. Good to see everybody. Oh, you're a disgrace to Hawaii. I'm just tired of you talking. Go somewhere else. You don't have friends here. Go. Get off the internet. Go outside if you live in Hawaii. My Christ. That's how I don't think he's in Hawaii. You're in Hawaii. It's 6:41 in the morning. Go watch the ocean, dipshit. Good to see everybody. What else do we got on the docket? I didn't even go over any of the news. Are you kidding me? God damn. Okay. Where's the news? I don't even think I have that. Oh. Hold on. We gotta go over some news. Where is it? So there's going to be an interview with the president on Sunday. And in it, I had to clip some of the transcript because you can't watch it yet, but this is the transcript. And again, the broken, dementia-ridden text is the Madam President. And he's saying, and I've actually said it's a shame. You have an ex-president and you have, you know, the president's wife and secretary of state. And I've said it's a shame. It is a shame. Like, you've said that 3 times in one sentence. My Christ, this guy is so fucking dumb. And then Tom Llamas, NBC News broke the story today. I don't know if you saw it, that the Democrats are already saying, if you bring President Bill Clinton and he has to testify, we're bringing President Trump. What do you say to that?
And here, Donald Trump says some kind of damning stuff. Well, I think they might say that, but they've already brought me. See, I've been brought. See, I've been brought. This guy talks like a toddler. They had me indicted many, many times. Many, many times. They didn't do that to Clinton. So is Donald Trump saying he's been indicted on the Epstein files? What? What? Maybe we chalk it up to the dementia, but this is him in a recorded interview saying, hey, if they're going to make Bill Clinton testify on the Epstein files, what if they brought you? And he says, repeats himself a bunch because he's a moron. And he says, but I've been brought. They had me indicted many, many times. And then repeats himself because he forgot if he said it, the last sentence, many, many times. They didn't do that to Clinton. What? What? What the fuck is going on? So is this guy self-snitching? Is that what Donald Trump, did he just snitch? He's like, they've already indicted me. I'm not going. I'm the president. You can't indict a president. My Supreme Court said so. This is bananas. This is fucking bananas. This is so bananas. And people will defend it too. Oh yeah, I showed you this. So now it's out in the open. He's just a racist asshat. That's it. There's no more people being like, oh really? What is he? Those people are bad faith actors. Those people do not want to discuss. They want to detract and distract. That's it. So anybody who says Donald Trump is a racist, what did he do? And then try to whittle it away. This is the Joe Rogan playbook. Well, let's really think about what that means. Okay, let's look at the history of it. Not that what it means. Let me have Jordan Peterson in here to explain how lobsters mate. That kind of distraction tactic. He's just a racist piece of shit. We've all known this. It's in the Epstein files. He took out a page ad in the 90s to try to get penalties for, whatever. The 70s, housing discrimination. I mean, it's just a long record, and I know you all know this. It's just exhausting. But now he's doing it on this, Nazi, Twatsy website he has called Truth, which is, a bad name for a website. And again, it's like we're drawing these lines in the lava every single day. First, it's Epstein. Next, it's because being on the fence about racism means you're complicit. You have to be anti-racist. That means if you encounter this, you go, that's fucking heinous, and you shame those people out of it. It's the only way to do it. We had to do it with the Confederacy. We had to be like, oh, no, you don't. Oh, no, you don't. There's some more news. There's, I didn't take a picture of this one. I'll read it to you from CBS News. Who entered Epstein's jail tier the night of his death? Newly released video logs appear to contradict official account. Well, wouldn't you know? February 6, 2026, the year of our Lord, the official accounts are being contradicted again. It's just so exhausting because sometimes I can't even read these articles because it's just so many times is the government lying to your face in a row, in a day, in a moment, in a press conference, where you just go, who is the racist asshat, chomo that's still trying to think that this is a good road for America. So anyways, there's contradicting accounts. Epstein's probably in Israel. We don't know. Nobody knows, but and we'll probably find out, But it's exhausting at how ruthless liars these people are. Epstein emailed Deepak Chopra, told him to download Pokemon Go. I'm not sure. I haven't put Deepak Chopra in yet, but I will because I want to see if that's true. Oh my God, I just can't deal with this anymore. Get that Minecraft chicken PFP off. If you hate socialism, you don't support a game owned by Sweden. Yeah, I believe it's Sweden. because I've watched their lives and I love watching them speak. He was thinking that Deepak Chopra could make him a spiritual meditation app like Pokemon Go. Are you Ray J Jr.? Please hit subscribe because this information is hilarious. And this is the other thing about the Epstein files. Sometimes you find stuff like that where you're like, what the fuck am I reading? Just like I was showing you the Melania stuff. The Melania stuff. Where it's like working on a lead on a Melania boyfriend. What am I in the Real Housewives of Pennsylvania Ave am I reading? Not living with him, Melania. Melania in a battered marriage. Not my words. This is the Epstein files. What Donald Trump put out there. Donald Trump put it out there. And for all the people who are like, no, not Melania. Yeah. Not that lady. Seen here with good friend that lady. No, totally. Totally no. No. Ministry of Truth. Ooh. It sounds like a propaganda arm, but it could also be a good subdivision of the church. We gotta deprogram these people in the Ministry of Truth. I hope she's doing well. My science educator, Rebecca, was in the Epstein files criticizing his friends. Epstein's friend cried about her calling him out. That's the other thing you do see. You see people that are mentioned, but the mentions are like, I was reading a few of them. They're of that sort. They played the Melania movie on a flight. 8 people left. Her disdain for the idiot she married for his money is obvious. Yeah, very much so. She won't even hold his hand. The guy has dementia, keeps pooping his pants, can't even put his foundation on correctly. Maybe it's Maybelline, maybe it's the president, and she won't even hold his hand. It's like, how do you think you got into this country? Have some respect. He got you here on the EB1 visa, which I can only assume, I'm not going to look up, stands for Epstein Buddy 1 visa. We are in a... Oh, Large Taco, I got to go. Thanks, Rob and chat, for letting me feel sane for a little while. Thanks, mods. Yeah, thank you to the mods. God bless. God bless. Wait, what did Thorne say? Norm Finkelstein wrote? No. Listen, I've spent the morning trying to sift through Melania in the Epstein files, and there's just not a lot. They've deleted so much. It's kind of insane. I love you. She only stays with them for the money. She gets a monthly allowance. Well, somebody was saying that she's living in a tower at Mar-a-Lago like a captured princess. Whore princess. Slovenian princess, which I assume they're all whores. Because again, she came here on the Epstein Buddy 1 visa. For everyone who goes, she was here on an EB1 visa. We know. It stands for Epstein Buddy 1. Whatever you read online might not be true. What else was there in the news? Oh, did you guys see the Trumprx website? Trump's got a prescription website out. It's called Trumprx. I'm not even going to show you the article because this photo's funnier. They deny everything. They deny. You know what? This was just locker room talk. Remember when she said, it's just boys doing the locker room talk? When he was like, I'm going to grab every I see because I'm a celebrity. And people were like, yeah, that's my conservative family values guy. Remember all that? Okay, now that you remember, this is hilarious. So Donald Trump unveiled Trumprx website for medication discounts. There's only about 43, it launched Thursday evening with 43 drugs from 5 companies that I'm sure probably bribed him. That made deals with Trump regime. AstraZeneca, Eli Lilly. Ooh, we got the best of the best here. These are just the best of the best companies. AstraZeneca, Eli Lilly, EMD Serono, Novo Nordisk, and Pfizer. Discounts from the other 11 companies that made agreement with the administration will be available in the coming months. Hey guys, so if you need one of the 54 drugs, you go to Trumprx.com. If you need any other of the billion drugs out there, then you're fucked. This is so funny. And then Madam Trump said during the launch event, it's the biggest thing to happen in healthcare, I think, in many, many decades. I love how he's such a moron that his sentences are like, if you asked a fifth grader, you know, a question about what you just read, and they're like, I think it's about probably the biggest thing to happen in healthcare, I think, in many, many decades. Like he's backing himself up so he can't be wrong. No, I said I think. And then I said in many, many decades. Well, he's wrong. He's wrong, and that's why I read this to you, because the biggest thing to happen in healthcare was pre-existing conditions. If you're not old enough to remember, you could have something, an ailment that you were born with, and insurance companies could tell you, go fuck off, America. So if you don't remember that, then count your lucky stars, because people were getting denied access to healthcare in America. This is very American, unheard of elsewhere. But America said, here in the home of the brave and obedient to the fucking ruling class, we're going to allow people who were by no fault of their own, born with something wrong, and we're going to allow the insurance companies that don't provide a product, they're just a middleman, they're just an extortion racket, we're going to allow them to say no to people who were just born that way. Lady Gaga. I wish I could play Lady Gaga. I would have queued it up. Anyways, healthcare is a human right, 100%. I remember before Obamacare, dude, if you didn't have insurance, you went to the ER, they would roll your ass back out into the street and dump you on the curb. Literally. But Obamacare didn't make it better. It just did the pre-existing conditions. Remember, folks, Obamacare, the ACA, also called the Affordable Care Act, is a Heritage Foundation insurance grift. You can look that up. They implemented it here first in Massachusetts. That's where they got the blueprint for it. The Heritage Foundation and Mitt Romney implemented this healthcare system first in Massachusetts, where they called Romney Care. And then Obama and all the Republicans that wouldn't let him do anything said, we'll do the Heritage Project thing, so we don't have to do single-payer Bernie Sanders socialism healthcare. They want all the socialism at the top. They want the bailouts. They want the tax money, not the people that need health. So remember, this whole thing is, it's just funny to hear Republicans be like, Obamacare sucks. You're like, it's a Republican thing. It's the Heritage Foundation, the people of Project 2025. They created this, just in case anybody forgot or didn't know. So when Donald Trump says at the launch, it's the biggest thing to happen in healthcare, I think, in many, many decades, even reading that, I feel like I got stupider. It's just not. It's just not. And it's not even good things that beat him, but starting a website with 43 drug companies offering you like a, 1% discount probably isn't like noticeable. I'm pretty sure fucking, everyone's doing, wasn't Mark Cuban doing that? like, what the fuck are they toting here? The discounts range from 33% off Pfizer's Xeljanz, which treats autoimmune disorders, such as ulcerative colitis, to 93% off Centrotide, a drug made by EMD Serono that is used in fertility treatments. Man, these people want everybody pregnant. I'm surprised they're mad that, when they're like, can men get pregnant? It's like, you want to impregnate everybody. That's the whole Epstein files. Like, you're trying to impregnate everything. My God. And then you get mad at it? Hypocrites. Trump and his regime announced their plan in the fall as part of deals with drug companies to get lower prices for Americans. Well, they got 43 of them, guys. Hallelujah. No mention on Trumprx of getting 1,000% off. I want to highlight that while we look at the First Lady with
a woman who's in prison right now for trafficking. Law and order, the Law and Order crew. Anyways, interesting when they say the discounts range from 33%. I wonder why they didn't say 1,000%, guys. Remember Donald Trump said we're going to get prescription drugs sometimes up to 1,000% off. And people that knew basic math were like, so the drug companies are going to pay us to get healthy? It's fucking awesome. And they were like, no. It's just words. And people were like, exactly. It's words. They mean stuff. So interesting that in this whole article, not once does Donald Trump tout and brag about drug prices being sometimes 1,500% off. I wonder why. I wonder why nobody asked him that. Here's how you do journalism. You're in the press corps, right? And you're dressed as to the nines like Tim Pool, because do you guys see Tim Pool there? He wore his best fucking beanie to hide his baldness. And you raise your hand. You go, sir, do you remember? Sir, do you remember when you said you're going to get drug prices 1,000% off? Is that what this website's doing? And you make them into the liars that they are. That's how you do it. Or you could have chosen the socialist route and gotten the government insurance with that same stipend. Yes, whatever you're talking about, 100%. 100%. We could have just, gotten something for our taxes. We get a big military that doesn't keep us healthy. We got, what else do we get for our tax money? There's nothing really else. I think it all goes to the military. And then they have the fucking audacity to be like, ooh, our stuff isn't up to date. Well, what are you doing with all that money? Why is the Pentagon never passing a budget or like a audit, I would like healthcare, guaranteed sick leave, guaranteed vacation time federally, universal basic income, a bunch of different things, free school. I think taxes should be used for other things, but no, GoodRx has existed longer than Trump. Almost my entire life. That's what I mean. Like, this is not, I love how he's like, I'm pretty sure this is groundbreaking. It's like, dude, have you not been on the internet? There's just ads everywhere. They're like, are you stressed out? Do you want to migrate? We got pills for all of it, Apologies to the taxpayers. Virtual reality for me. I bought $100 in prescriptions, got 900 back. What are you talking about? Yes, we are getting 1,000% off. Yes, I'm so excited. What did you use? Trumprx? Because I don't think that's how it's working. They said 33%. You're Tim Pool, except based. Oh, thank you, Snowset. But please don't ever call me Tim Pool. Is this boss around from Survivor? This is what I don't get. When people ask me that and they see my face, because I don't hide it, I'm not a fucking coward like Ice. Do you think I'm that guy? Really? Is this where we are in America, where you can see something and go, that's clearly not him, because he's like some Italian dude, some jabroni, and still ask the question? No, I'm not him. I'm sorry. I'm a little fucking fired up. That's the thing, man. Any dollar a poor person gets goes back to the rich person. That's it. It's been a decade. You have a beard. Okay. That's fair. That's fair. I'm not him. See how you do that, MAGA? You could admit you're a little wrong and you're a little fired up. Nothing wrong with that. You're handsome still, my guy. Aw, Enclave Soldier. I appreciate you. Thank you. I don't think so, but thank you. You don't pay taxes, Pickle Juice. In protest? Be careful. This is really common for political leaders to take accountability for things they have 0% made. That's their MO. That's their MO. That's their whole fucking modus operandi. They're like, here's this thing that I had nothing to do with. You can thank me for it now. Josh Worm, do you Do you watch Gary's Economics? Great YouTuber. Everybody check him out. He says, here's what happened. The Federal Reserve printed money out of thin air and debased our currency. We shuffled it around for a week or two, and then it went right to rich people. Gary's Economics breaks that down specifically. How when people complain about, people getting money was the problem, what they don't think about is like what I like to tell young people. Walk that thought out. What did these people, I used to make the joke, I think it went over a lot of people's heads. I used to make the joke that we're retiring with that $1,200. Nobody knows it, but we've all stashed it away in our mattresses and we're retiring. And people didn't get that joke because what I was saying is, we spent it to live, you idiots. So everybody that got that money, most people were not allowed to work. We're like, well, I have to eat to survive. I have to pay the rent. So people to richer people, and those richer in time were going, oh, our goods are in high demand, let's jack up the prices. So we paid even more under the guise of inflation, which was really greedflation. There's a lot of court cases and a lot of articles you can read about this. It's called price fixing, in other words. And that's how it happened, folks. And now the rich are even richer, and BlackRock and Elon and Peter Thiel are all salivating about making us a rental country, whether it's rent your streaming, rent your music, rent your water through plastic bottles, or rent your home. They want to make you rent everything. Even in BMW, they have rental subscriptions for whatever the fuck it is. Everything is rental. I grew up at a time where you could go to the record store and purchase it, and you didn't purchase licensing rights. If you buy a movie on Amazon, just be careful. I covered this here, but Jeff Bezos now believes buying something isn't what the consumer thought they meant. Buying means you're buying as long as we have the license to it. And if we ever lose the license to it, you don't own it anymore. That's not a joke. I covered the news story. This poor lady came after Amazon because she was like, I had the Real Housewives of Puppy County 4, season 3. Fucking no joke. It was some obscure thing she bought on Amazon and it disappeared. And she said, well, why did it disappear? And Amazon had to come out and say, oh, you're only buying that movie, that TV show, that whatever, as long as we have the license. If we lose the license to it, it goes out of your library. And that's true. Don't buy from Amazon. You will own nothing and be happy. 100%. And so many people are like throwing themselves at being happy about owning nothing. Yes, sir. Just strip some more of my rights away, sir. Yes, get rid of the CFPB. What do we need them for anyways? I love bank fees and overcharges. They're like salivating to prove their loyalty to this Epstein friend. It's unreal. Trying to break from Amazon as much as possible. It's so bad that I've gone back to physical video rental. Well, I have a large collection of DVDs. And even though my wife gets mad and is like, there's just so many. I'm like, listen. You ain't got to ask me if I got a fucking deep cut of some random movie that you cannot find anymore because, the streaming gods don't sell it, I just started to buy vinyl and CDs again. Amen to that. And when you can, do it, It's hard to find old movies. Like, has anybody seen God Money? That is a weird one, but I used to own it and lost the VHS. But again, anyways, I'm getting off topic. Go support your local theaters. Watch Iron Lung to support independent creative, for example. 100%. Always support the small guys. It's like they just douche to F with the people. I don't get the stupidity. It's just a power play. Everything in business is a power play. They're like peacocks, nobody's scared of a peacock, but peacocks have this beautiful plumage where they pretend like, they're bigger than they are. But if you've seen a peacock in real life, they got a scrawny little neck, What the fuck are they going to do? They're not an emu, they don't have the death raptor claw. They're peacocks. All right, guys, I don't even know what time it is. What else did I not cover? Hold on. Oh, speaking of Don Lemon, I don't even want to play this audio because it's boring, but I'll play the end of it.
Caught, and it was kind of hurting, and they said they'd take it off. And I said, do you mind taking that up to my husband in room blah, 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 blah. And one of the FBI agents said, sure, and took it up, and that's how my husband found out. Otherwise, no one would have known where I was. Wow.
That's him on Jimmy Kimmel talking about how he never got a phone call in jail, and you are entitled to a phone call. You, whether it's a bail bondsman, a family member, a lawyer, you are supposed to have a phone call or many phone calls, as many phone calls as you use. I'm telling you from experience. And they denied him that. So I don't want to hear Law and Order out of, you know, the Law and Order crowd. I feel like this is appropriate. All right. And, oh yeah, we were watching the live. That's why I went live. Okay, before we end, I wanted to play this up first, but the Justice Department went live and it was ridiculous. It was an absolute stroke fest. You know, they're just all complimenting each other. And we learned today, if you're going to go third in speaking in a press conference or lectures or whatever, if you're going third, don't repeat what the first two people said. God damn it, Janine Shapiro. Oh, exhausting. I'm like, say something new. But this I wanted to play for you because this guy, I've seen him on YouTube. I forget his YouTube name. I'll find it for you. But he says, we can shape our own reality by where we direct our attention. This is some good, insightful stuff. I can't fast forward it. It's a little long, but just bear with me.
So the question then is, why are these people making this effort to fool us into believing that this wall, these movies are real? And the answer is because they're trying to enslave us.
So he's talking about like the elites, the wealthy, the powerful, the Epstein class. And the drawing on the screen, I should have taken a picture, sorry. It's like the Plato's cave allegory, where there's people, there's light behind them, flashing images in front of them, and these people don't understand that that's not real life. Anyways, just look up Plato's cave allegory. But listen.
Okay? Slavery. But then you're like, okay, but slavery means that I take a gun and I say, if you don't do what I say, I'll kill you. But that's not what slavery is. If the universe is conscious, okay, our energy comes from our attention.
Are moving radically. That's just science. Don't get mad at me. Don't call me a hippie. That is just science. We're just radically moving molecules. But what he says is slavery really isn't what you think, you know, like, but more of it's our attention, our energy focused on something, which when you think about it, don't get too deep, but get too deep.
Attention is energy. So what they want is our energy, okay? That's true wealth.
What they want is our energy. That's true wealth. And it is, when you think about that. Slavery through the ages, wage slavery now, they want your energy into creating wealth that they can extract, okay?
Able to focus our energy, capture our imagination, they can construct reality in the way that they want it, okay? Because reality is what we imagine it to be. The imagination is the animating force of the universe, right? So they can focus our attention. For us, they can create their own reality. All right? Now we understand why we watch movies. Now we understand why we have the internet. Now we understand why the school wants you to love artificial intelligence. Because it's to enslave you. All of human history is about enslavement. Okay? That's what progress is. You think that, oh my God, I can now watch movies. Oh my God, I have now social media. I can communicate with anyone. Oh my God, I have ChatGPT. And ChatGPT can tell me the truth about the world. No. All of these things are created to enslave your mind. Because you have access to God. And so what they're trying to do is trick you into believing that this reality is a true reality. Because once you believe that, this reality becomes the only reality. Okay? So the question is like, who are these people? Well, We don't know, okay?
We do know. It's the Epstein class. Don't Be a Sucker is a great one. U.S. War Department film. Here's a good clip.
I happen to know the facts. Now, friends, I'm just an average American. But I'm an American. And some of the things I see in this country of ours make my blood boil.
There we go. I didn't realize it froze. But that was a clip of Don't Be a Sucker, 1945 anti-fascist film. The whole thing should be watched. I've watched it many times. It's interesting because the government used to put this stuff out. That's so crazy to think about. The government used to put out Antifa films, anti-fascist films. We're a reality show for aliens. Hamster time. Appreciate you. Staffelson. I'm muted again. This stupid thing mutes me. And it froze me. Am I unmuted now? Oh, okay. Sunshine. Thank you. You might... maybe I'm just muted to certain people. Anyways, yeah, check out the Antifa film that the government, the U.S. War Department put out in 1945, 47. It says 47 there. Yeah, 1947. Don't Be a Sucker. It's 22 minutes. U.S. National Archives. Check it out. It's amazing. All right, guys. I'm a hippie. Went to a dispensary. I could not believe the packaging, wrapped in plastic box, then plastic tube. I was applaud hippies like nature. I was appalled. Hippies like nature. Yeah, right? I should just hand it to you. Not in Tennessee, you don't. All right, guys. This was kind of not a typical early live stream. You have a free phone call, right? When you're being booked in, that's all. You pass that? No. You don't just get one. No, that's not true. They'll listen. The cops do whatever the fuck they want. Let's be honest, okay? I've witnessed them lie on the stand personally. So we're not talking about law enforcers. We're talking about oppressive, consolidation of power people. But you are, and look this up, TV makes you think it's one phone call, but you're allowed to get in touch with somebody if you are imprisoned. You are allowed to let family, a lawyer, a bail bondsman, like they can't just cut you off, So reloaded, I can hear now. No worries, Steffelson. Good to have you back. I would rather watch a bucket of water dry out than the Melania movie. 100%. Well, I mean, just the Melania movie was so bad. It came out on Friday. The next day, they were like, release millions of Epstein files. We got to cover for this shit. Absolutely crazy. Deborah, America fought fascists while blacks faced racism. 100%. 100%. The irony is not lost to me. These rich men want to exploit immigrants. If they're illiterate and illegal, they can't be helped. That's why they want you to dehumanize anybody with a record of any kind. Well, that's what it is always. It's dehumanize, desensitize. That's the playbook. And we reject that here. We subscribe to St. Rogers, Mr. Rogers, Fred, if you're knowing him, that everybody's got value. Everybody. Except for fascists. I have to put that caveat in there. The people who want to take the value from humans don't get that respect. And that's just what Jesus believed. Anyways, all right, guys, hit subscribe. Hit the, yes, resting. I just shit myself face. I might have to use that later. I appreciate you. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. Maybe we'll go live later tonight. It depends. I'm just sifting through what's left of the Epstein files. There is no illegal and stolen land, 100%. I'm just sifting through them, reading some news. If the DOJ went live earlier, so I had to go live. But if some stuff happens, I'll go live later tonight. Who knows? Amen. Thank you, Sunshine. Good to see you. Good to see Dusty. Good to see News Troll. Good to see Steffelson. Thank you for the super chat, Steffelson. Good to see everybody. I hope you have an amazing day. I don't know what you're getting up to later, but just stay safe. Know you're loved and know that whatever you do for work is not your worth. You know, you're there trying to survive. That's all it is, man. This country made survival so difficult, people have to have 2 and 3 jobs to survive. And I reject that with the full force of God. I reject that. And I say, there's got to be a better way. Like in Kneecap song. Be safe. Oh, good to see you, Hamster Time. Good show. Thank you. Thank you. I don't hear that often. So thank you. That's for real. I don't know. I'm just winging it. You know, I'm just winging it. Dusty, good to see you. All right, guys. Stay safe. Much love, respect, peace. And always, fuck fascists.